Now you know the basics to develop an application, but before continue with more development, we are going to learn how to be self-sufficient, how to not get stuck. So we are going to start finding any problem that we have when development with logs and filter. Then we are going to learn how to debug an application when we have any error. We are going to continue implementing new features, new things, using Stack Overflow, which is the Bible for a developer. When you don't know how to do something, you search on Stack Overflow. And finally, and optionally, we will see how to import an Android sample so you can take a look at the sample directly from Google. So let's start with logs and log filter. Sometimes we have an error when developing an application and we can't figure out what's happening. We can know what's happening. For example, we are going to introduce a problem here and we are going to follow the same steps that you will follow in a real problem. So I'm going to delete the click on the button. I'm going to remove the onClick attribute, so at the moment the button is not going to use in onClick. If we miss that on a real example and we click on the button and we see that nothing is happening, we could think that the problem is inside the code because we don't know what's happening. We don't know if the method is being called or not. So the first step that you have to do is find where is the problem. So for that, you will put a log here and you will see if the problem is happening inside the method or the problem is happening outside the method. So let's see how to create a log. We just write log from Android util and then the level of the log. In this case, where we are going to use info. As you can see here, the log needs a tag and a message. So the tag is going to be my tag and the message is going to be the method is being executed. Okay, so now if we launch our application and we click on the button, we are not going to see the log. So in a real case, in a real scenario, this will make us think that this code is fine, that the problem is that we are not even calling the method. So let's make sure that this is called. As you can see here, I don't see any new log. Okay. Now I will realize that the problem is that the method is not being called. So I will take a look at the view and will say what's happening here, why the button isn't working, and I will take a look and I will say, oh, I forgot to put the onClick attribute. Let's launch it now. The same thing can happen when you are calling a method from another method. When you have a complex application, it's more difficult to find these things. But you have to know that the steps are the same. Okay, we have the application now, and every time that we click on the button, this is printing along here. The next thing that we have to speak about is the filters. We can go to the Android virtual monitor and create a filter, but there is a better way, which is write the tag here and we only search on the logs for the tags. Also, regarding to the log level, as you can see here, we have different log levels from Android. Some of them are from one application and some of them not. So we are not interested in the debug logs at the moment, so we can just put the info tag, and as you can see here, we just filter for the level of the tag. The level is just the priority, so the priority go from top to the bottom. So if we are on error, we cannot see what is above the error. So let me show you the error. You cannot see only error. Let me show you the bottom one. You can see all of them. So this is what you need to know about logs.